Good morning. Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? Everything good? I hope. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me all right. Just so we can get things started here. I got my guitar plugged in. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe it's a little loud. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are doing well today. It's been very cold and not very pleasant here, so it's given me a lot of opportunities to stay inside, which is good because it gives me another opportunity to mess around with gear and whatnot. So I've been doing that a lot, and I hope you guys are doing the same. Nice to see everybody here today. Audio is fine, Tony, but not the distortion. Alan, is that because you don't like distortion, right? You like the clean. We'll get to clean sounds too. Today I have this guitar in my lap. This is my 2012 Gibson Les Paul Standard. I got this on a whim. I really like it. We'll talk about the guitar in a little bit, but I don't usually take it out that much. I don't know why. So yesterday I was kind of in one of those moods where I was going through all of my gear and trying to figure out which one sounds best, which one could use an adjustment or a pickup upgrade and stuff like that. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that too. But first I want to say hi to everyone here and good morning like I normally do. Kushman, good morning, my friend. Wayne, Jeff, Alan, Mark, Paul, James, good morning, James. Vanai, Gary's here as well. A lot of guys are here. Everybody's here. Everybody's up early today. Hobo Bob, Fat Philosopher. Oh man, good. It's wonderful to see everybody here, and I'm glad everybody's doing well. I hope, and hanging in there. I wanted to first of all welcome everybody and say for anybody that's going to be tuning in or probably new to the show. Welcome, Addicted to Gear. We're normally here on Sundays live, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is when we discuss gear all together as a group. And, on Sunday, I figured that's the day where people, lazy mornings, grab a coffee, have some breakfast, tune in, We're basically on for like an hour or so. Sometimes we go a little longer, but it gives you the opportunity to join in on the chat and ask a question about gear and maybe kind of reflect on what you've been thinking about, maybe purchasing or maybe selling over the last week or so. So it's always good to have a support group where you can bounce off some ideas and questions and sort of get the right advice, maybe the right direction. And that's what Addicted to Gear is all about. Beyond the Sunday shows, we obviously still have a lot of videos that we post on a weekly basis, and you're more than welcome to watch all of those videos, and those are mostly reviews on gear as well. So if you're a gearhead like we are, this is the right place for you. Hopefully we'll have some new faces here today. I wanted to remind everybody, you probably have, most of you here probably saw the video post that I did a couple of days ago. And basically I'm giving away a multi-effects unit. That's this one here. I mentioned it in the video, and it's the MG300 from Nuex. This is a nice, cool little unit, and I reviewed that, so you can actually see my review if you go back into my videos. But basically, guys, you have an opportunity to win this really cool unit, and as I said in my video, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is go watch that video, like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and then just tell me why you want to win the unit and why you like the Sunday shows. And what I'll do is once we get to 100 likes or comments, at that point I'll select a winner. and we'll announce the winner right here on the live show. So we haven't hit 100 yet, so probably next week I'm thinking we'll be able to do that, and hopefully one of you regular viewers of the Sunday show will win that cool prize. It'll warm my heart if I see one of you guys lucky enough to win it. And what we'll do is we'll just once everybody's kind of we reach 100, I'll draw a random number between 1 and 100, and whoever it happens to be on the list will be the grand prize winner. Of course, we're going to announce it here, so you got to be on the show. Otherwise, we're going to announce your name. I'm going to need your information and whatnot, and I'll tell you how you can send that to me. But if I don't have that, I can't send it to you, so you guys got to watch, all right? So hopefully everybody knows what to do, and you've already done it. If you haven't, go watch that video after this and make sure you do what you need to do to win that prize. I'm going to be giving away other things as well now and then, so just stay tuned. Today I'm playing through the NUX MG30, which I'm also going to review for you guys, and that's probably also going to be up for grabs eventually. There's a couple of other multi-effects units that I have here that I'm also thinking of doing draws for, but those I haven't decided how I'm going to go about doing that yet. But stay tuned for that, because you have a good chance. I mean, I'm not a my channel, where I'm not a million subscriber channel, far from it. So whenever we do these kind of things, you got a good chance of winning. So take the time. It's well worth it. So I hope you guys have some cool gear questions today, because I wanted to definitely answer a few of your questions. And if you do have those questions, don't wait till the end of the show. I know a lot of guys jump in late because they get up late and whatnot, but if you're here early and you have some questions, definitely, ask them now, because we're gonna get to the end of the show and you won't have an opportunity to ask them. I also remembered that there's a lot of I haven't posted a discount code in a while, so I wanted to do that for you guys. I wanted to offer you an additional 10% off on any merchandise that's listed at the bottom of my videos. Those a small percentage of that goes to supporting the channel. Unfortunately, a very small percentage, but every little bit helps. So if you're interested in grabbing a cool Addicted to Gear t-shirt, a sticker, a mug, whatever, you can do that and get an additional 10% off. All right? So take advantage of that if you're interested. I'm going to jump into questions right away because, I don't want to waste time. I want to get into the nitty-gritty. Let me just go back I'm just going to scan through the questions that we have right now just very quickly. And I wanted to see if there's any questions already. Cushman mentioned that he picked up a made in Korea Epiphone double cut with Gibson P90s. Sounds and plays great, and it's red. Those Epiphones are looking really nice. Is that an older one or one of the inspired by versions, Cushman? I don't know if the P90s, I love the sounds of P90s. Really like them a lot. And I was just doing that yesterday. I'm going to show you how crazy I am. I'm going to put up a picture on the screen here for you guys. So yesterday, I don't know, I get into one of those moods. I posted this on Instagram too. This is what this room looked like yesterday when I pulled out a few guitars and I was doing the round robin, and the idea there was I was trying to figure out which guitar would get the awesome pickups that I showed you guys the other day, the no wax pickups that I have here. I still haven't decided, guys. I need your help. I haven't decided in which guitar I want to install these things. These are a beautiful set of no wax pickups that I have here. I showed them to you last time. They're classic PAF style pickups, as you can see here, with the raw nickel covers, the beautiful braided wiring in the back, and I'm dying to hear what these things sound like. So I've been trying to decide which guitar it was going to go into. At first I thought I was going to put it into the PRS, my core PRS SC245, which you see right here at the top of the screen, top of that image. But I was listening to it again, and I'm like, man, these pickups do sound good. I like them. And I think, Mark, you were asking me yesterday on the Instagram post what pickups those were. I'm pretty sure they're just standard 245 pickups. But some of the early PRS guitars, that one in particular, sometimes came with the different pickups. And I don't think those pickups are in that guitar, unfortunately. I have to check again. Honestly, my memory fails me sometimes because I don't remember. I know I opened it up at one point and I took a look, but it's been a long time. So I might have to do that again and see which ones they are. But I'm almost 100% positive they're just the standard pickups that come stock with that guitar, which are the 245 pickups. So then I started looking at some of the other guitars. This one is one of the guitars in that picture as well. But this one, I love the pickups in here. These are Monty's pickups one of my favorite pickups of all time. So that's definitely going to stay in there. I'm thinking perhaps I'll go with the... then I thought maybe it's time to upgrade the Zach Myers guitar that you can see there on the middle left side of the picture, and that one is they're low output pickups from Sanford Magnetics. I thought maybe I would put them in there and give that a boost, but the low output pickups sound so good that I don't want to mess with them. So I'm a little bit stuck. So perhaps I'll just use my other PRS 245 as a guinea pig, because what I wanted to do is do a shootout between the core PRS and the import PRS. And since they're both the same style guitar, more or less, I thought that would be a somewhat fair comparison once I change the pickups. And then we'll see how great the no wax pickups actually sound. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. And then we'll see how it goes. So anyways, that picture just goes to show how how much ADHD I have sometimes when I'm doing things like that. Just like I go a little bit nuts, and I spend a lot of time doing stupid things like that. But overall, at the end of it, hopefully I make the right decision. I'm not always sure that I do, though. Another question here. Oh, that one doesn't even fit on the screen. It's a little bit too big. Well, can I make that smaller? I'm not sure if I can. Well, I'll read it out to you guys. So, Presley, California Custom says, Tony Allen Eden had a special limited run of nitro finish Strat bodies, 2-piece Alder, 3-tone vintage burst, $159. They sold out in one day. Should have got 3. Received mine, and I'm super impressed. I actually saw that. I don't know how I actually stumbled upon it. I don't know if it was just a link or something I had seen somewhere, but I saw that promotion. I was thinking of grabbing one, but at the end of the day, I have too many projects that I still have to build, so I don't know if I decided not to grab that one for now. But I'm glad you told me about it, and I appreciate that. Too bad they're already sold out. Perhaps they'll do another one eventually. If they do, let me know, man, because I'm always, I'm always after a cool body, and at the end of the day, I might just build another one. Hey, Landon, nice to see you, buddy. Martin's here also. Hey, Martin. Good morning to you. I'm enjoying our Canadian winter. Yes, I am, sir. No, I'm lying. I don't like winter at all. I'd rather be somewhere else. Leo's here as well. Nunzio, nice to see you, buddy. Okay, let me see. Any other questions here? I think Gear Junkie got a question here. He's got a question. It says, got Billy Gibbons EQ Octavio fuzz for $140. The non-EQ Jimi Hendrix Octavia fuzz is with 2 to 3 times the price. Yeah, those Octavia fuzzes are pretty fun, though. They're a lot of fun to play with. I didn't get one. I built one of my own fuzz pedals, a fuzz face circuit, just for fun. It was pretty cool. Sounds great. But I don't have the Octavia fuzz. That's something I gotta get eventually for that ZZ Top sound, right? I'm wondering if you guys. I wonder if you guys mess around trying to get some of that Billy Gibbons tone. I mean, he's got like super sweet tone, I gotta say. One of my favorite tone of all time, you know. But he has those Magnatone amps that cost a fortune. You gotta like, not only do you have to like pay a kidney, but I think you have to also pay like a testicle along with the kidney to get that sound. But it's a great sound. I've always been lusting over that sound. This sound, if you guys are wondering, is a stock sound off of the MG300. MG30, sorry, I mix them up sometimes. It's called LT Plexi Crunch. It's a little bright. I usually like a little bit more bass, but it's crunchy. The gate is on, but it's not really working that well. I didn't modify that. You can hear the gate sort of dissipate the noise, but it takes a little bit more time. This guitar, by the way, just so you guys, in case you're wondering, it's a stock 2012, as I mentioned. This one is the one that has the push-pull pots that does a whole bunch of things. There's like 4 pots here, and they all do something different, including making a lot of noise. Sorry, guys. There we go. The only one I really use, there's out of phase, there's split coil, there's all kinds of stuff. The only one I really use is, there's one that bypasses all of the tone stack. I think it's this one, if I'm not mistaken. And it... And when you do that, it sounds way better, in my opinion. It's straight pipe, so it doesn't go through any of the pots, doesn't go through anything. It just goes right out the cable. And it sounds, that's the one that I love, when it's almost like a boost. And it works really, really well. Yeah, I like this guitar a lot. I didn't like the stock pickups that were in it. It came with a set of burst buckers. A lot of their guitars come with burst buckers. I didn't like them. I thought they were just a little bit too harsh. And I ended up taking them out and putting a set of these Monty's Monty's pickups, which are beautiful, beautiful pickups. They're great. The neck pickup, what I like about this, the neck pickup, well, I'll make you hear it. So let me just adjust here. But if you listen to the... So that's the neck. Still has some squawk to it. That's the bridge. Neck, just a bit fatter, but it doesn't become muddy, and that's what I really like about these pickups. It's hard. I really had a hard time finding another set of pickups like this that where the neck doesn't become muddy, and that's what I really like, you know. But yeah, it's a great guitar. Paul says, I got a big knob. Don't we all? I got a big knob color jumbo tone bender, best fuzz I ever got, and at 130 US, a good deal. There's a lot of tone bender-ish pedals out there, Paul, I noticed, and I don't know, since I don't have a real tone bender, you know, and if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy Page used the tone bender on a lot of his early recordings. I don't have a real tone bender, so I can't compare, but there's a lot of companies making tone bender-ish or using the tone bender name and coming out with their own stuff, so it's hard to know which one to go with. Sometimes they sound good, but they're not as flexible, and sometimes it just sounds like, you know, your amplifier is about to blow up, you know. Hey, Vox Guitars Rock, no issues. Nice to see you here, buddy. Gear Junkie says second vote for Roland Cube. Those old Roland Cubes were pretty good, I gotta say. A friend of mine who was a bass player had one of those little, very small Roland. I think they like it was an orange one or a red one. I don't even remember. It's been a long time, but it was small, one small speaker cabinet combo. And he used to play that when we would rehearse, and it sounded fantastic for a bass amplifier. I couldn't believe the sounds that were coming out of that thing. Somebody loves me. I'll take that call a little bit later. And Dan of New Jersey says he's been playing with pickup heights lately. How do you approach it on your guitars? Hey, that's a good question. All right, I'll give you my point of view on it. So what I normally do, this is I use a slightly, let's just say there are parameters that you can follow if you want to set up your pickups for either humbuckers, single coil, P90s. They're sort of suggested distances from the strings. And I use that exactly as that, just a suggestion, and I kind of dial it in from there. But normally what I do is I install my pickups, I do the adjustment, I adjust the neck relief, the string height, all that kind of stuff. Then what I do is I press down on the bottom fret here, and I usually leave a gap. I don't have an actual measurement that I use. I usually eyeball it. But I'm going to say, I'm not good at measuring things this small. But let me just see if I have something that I can use as a reference here. I usually use like a little Allen key and I slip it under there. Let's just say the gap is, I don't know, maybe if I go by 16ths, okay, I'll go by 8ths, an eighth of an inch. Maybe like a little bit less than an eighth of an inch. So once the string is pressed against the last fret, the height, the bottom of the string to the top of the fret, the top of the pickup, I leave about I would say an eighth of an inch, maybe a little bit less. But I usually don't leave it there. I dial it in, I play it, and I play around with the pickup heights, and I just bring it up till the sound starts getting a little woofy. I don't know if that's a good way of describing it, but it just gets a little bit woofy, and you notice that the sustain doesn't last as long because the magnet starts to pull on the strings. So when the strings vibrate, it ends up like stopping the strings from vibrating. So you want to bring it down at that point. And then I just dial it in on the bass side, the low E string and the high E string. Usually the low E string is a little lower, the high E string is a little bit higher because the thickness of the strings are not the same diameter. So to compensate, you kind of have to tilt it a little bit, and you listen to the balance between the low and the high E string. And then what I do is I then dial in, I usually start with the neck pickup because the neck pickup is mostly a little bit more finicky for me. And once that's dialed in properly, then I'll go to the bridge pickup and I'll try and get the pickup to sound good on its own. And then I try to balance the neck and the bridge pickup in terms of volume so that you don't hear a volume drop when you switch between the neck and the bridge pickup. Of course, when you're doing this with two pickups, so it's a little bit easier. When you're doing it with three pickups, like on a Strat, it takes a little bit more time, but it's the same principle. You just do one at a time. And at the end of with a Strat, you try and balance out all three of the pickups so that the volume doesn't jump, get louder or more quiet when you go between the neck, bridge, and middle pickup. I don't know if that makes sense. There's a lot of standards you can use. Like if you go on the Gibson or the Fender website, they give you exact measurements that they suggest for certain models. Again, I started with that, but I use my ears to dial it in the way I like it. Hobo Bob says, I don't know why this thing's not fitting on my screen all of a sudden. Let me see if I can adjust this thing. Sorry, guys. It's really odd that it doesn't fit. There we go. Let me see if I could. Anyways, a glitch, I guess. But Hobo Bob, I'll read your message out here, even though I can't put it on the screen properly. It says, a while back, my luthier trainee overdone my truss rod on my old Squire and snapped it. So I was wondering if it would make sense as a project to get a cheap neck and where I could find one in Montreal. So you want to find a neck in Montreal? I mean, there are some used guitar shops in Montreal that may have an extra neck lying around, but you would have to call and ask them. You might try Kits in Montreal if you're around that area in the east end of Montreal. They may have, or you can just look on Kijiji to see if there's a lot of people actually selling Squire necks. And I think I saw one on Kijiji not long ago. So if you're in the Montreal area and you want to search on Kijiji Squire neck or guitar neck, you can search Facebook Marketplace. There's always somebody selling one. So it's really probably not worth trying to fix the one you have. But you can easily get another one and just, you can just replace it. It wouldn't cost you that much. You could probably get Squire necks about $100, anywhere between $100, $150 around there. Usually in pretty good condition, because a lot of people sell those necks because they don't necessarily like the profile or whatnot, I tend to like them, depending on which model. Like, I don't like the cheaper ones, but the classic Vibe necks are not bad. Some people find them a little bit on the skinny side, but there's different ones that I've tried. They don't all feel the same, and I like them. Sometimes a skinnier neck is a nice change. So Paul says that the big knob is a dead-on clone of the V4 tone bender. A video shows a shootout with the original, and they sound identical. The cool thing, it has OD-like control, no dropouts. Cool. Maybe I'll get one. I mean, I've been looking at possibly getting something to emulate that old Jimmy Page sound, one of my other favorite guitar tones of all time. So I might do that at one point. No problem, Hobo Bob. Good luck. I'm sure you'll find one. Just keep on looking, buddy. It's not that difficult. It's just be patient. One will pop up for sure. Does anyone know if modeling amp like the Mustang GTX can be used as a drop pedal with a patch? Drop D patch. Okay, so you're saying like dropping the tone? Good question. A lot of these multi-effects units, I can't say for that one particularly, Fat Philosopher. I haven't tried the Mustang GTX. A lot of them, though, do have some kind of octave filters and stuff that you can actually play with. Will it get you, like, precisely to a drop D? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to say, but I know that a lot of them do have that. You can almost double the sound with an octave drop, or some of them allow you to actually choose the interval that you want to drop. But I don't know if that one would do it. I'm pretty sure something like the Axe-Fx would, but it's not in the same price range, that's for sure. Thank you, Presley Customs. He says we all love you, Tony. Thank you, buddy. You're awesome, man. All right, let me just go back a little bit here, and I just wanted to see if there's any questions. Okay, Larry says, any thoughts on the Les Paul Tribute? I like the maple neck. I mean, I can't say that I like maple necks on Les Paul style guitars. It's cool. It's different. It's definitely an acquired taste, but for me, it's always been either rosewood or ebony on the necks. I've heard a lot of people that like the Tribute. They think they're good value for the money. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I think, at the end of the day, if that's the feel that you like in terms of the neck and the look that you like, I don't see why it would be a bad guitar. I haven't really heard anything bad about it, Larry. So I think you'd be safe with a guitar like that. Alan's Guitar Channel says, man, it really bugs me that I can't, for whatever reason, can't display the entire message. I gotta fix that. What has your experience been with power attenuators to bring volume down on tube amps? Do they affect tone? The answer is yes and no, Alan. I used a Weber at one point. I had a built-in attenuator in my Plexi. I had a really nice Plexi head that was made by Retro Rocket, Retro. Kevin at Rocket Retro makes amazing, really good quality, like true to spec Plexi heads that are not that expensive. And he really pays close attention to detail. His amps are great. He has a model that has a built-in power soak in it, and that's the one that I had. But even with the power soak, it was still very loud. Okay, it was a 50-watt Plexi head. If you guys know anything about Plexis, you know that they're really, to get into that beautiful saturation, you gotta really play them loud. And unfortunately, it was still too loud. So I was using pedals at one point to try and tame the volume. But then, you know, it's a compromise. So I turned to a Weber, I think that was the Weber Mass that I had at one point. Really good quality power attenuator. And it didn't really affect the tone until you got like really low. Unfortunately, when you're trying to play at home, you have to kind of dial it in pretty low. So, you know, like anything, when you're dialing down, when you're dialing back the sound, you're never going to get that full-blown sound that you really want, unfortunately. So if you're looking at playing at home with an amp like that, I would suggest going with an amp that has a switch, like a power switch that brings down the wattage. That's why I eventually sold that amplifier. I regretfully had to sell it because I really felt bad. It was a great amplifier, but it was just too loud. So nowadays, I really try and get amps that have a switch. And that's why I went with, and I switched to, well, you can see it back there, that Marshall Studio Plexi's 20 watts, but you can bring it down to 5. And it's still loud, even at 20 watts, and it can still get very loud even at 5 watts, believe it or not. So I usually use that, and sometimes I even still use that one with an attenuator because it's still, I like to get the natural amp drive and compression without using pedals, and the only way to do that is to crank it. So I use, I have another power attenuator. It's I don't have it here, or else I would show you. It's not out, but it's made by Bugera, and it works really well. It's only like about $100, and I like it a lot. It works. I haven't had any issues with it. I was a little skeptical at first because it was inexpensive, but so far so good, man. And I highly recommend it if you're at home and you're trying to control the volume. Of course, if you're looking at recording and you want to be able to record your amp, then there's a host of other products that you can use, including Two Notes, and there's other companies that make units that you can actually put in IRs, so you're actually not even hearing the amplifier. You can go directly into your DAW, you can crank it, and you get that full-blown amp sound without blowing out your ears at home. So that might be another option depending on what you're trying to do. Yeah, it's true that a good attenuator shouldn't affect tone, but in my opinion, I've tried a few. They all do. When you get to a certain, like when it gets quiet enough, it's never gonna sound like the amp will when it's full blown. The power amps, the power tubes are cooking and everything. It's very difficult. I haven't found one yet that doesn't affect tone when it gets that low. Jeff says, again, he's answering the question. I've tried lots of attenuators. The one I use the most is the Audio Storm Hotbox 125i. It has some switching options to adjust the tone. Yeah, that's similar to what I had on on the Mass one. It was it had a bunch of switches, and it had some tone control options, so that when you get it down to very low volumes, you can compensate for it. You know, almost like a mini EQ built into it, which was nice. I ended up selling that one after I sold the amplifier. Should have kept it. It was a good one. Fat Philosopher says Gibson models can be confusing. Was going to get a traditional until they abandoned the whole line. Just get a standard, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the traditionals are nice. I like some of the options on the traditionals as well. But you know, things are in flux all the time at Gibson, so you never know what they're going to be doing next, right? Unfortunately, now the standards are the standard, I guess. The prices keep going up on the standards, however, so maybe look on the used market for a nice, good quality used traditional. Maybe you get them for a better price now that you know they're becoming a little bit more scarce. Paul says Squire type replacement necks are $60 to $70 on Amazon. Yeah, be careful with those though, Paul. Those are usually ones made in China. They look like Squire necks, but a lot of times they don't feel like Squire necks. And in my experience, you got to be very selective in terms of which buyer you use. You can get them on, you can get the same necks on eBay. Obviously, check the ratings and stuff. Sometimes you can get some good quality Telecaster knockoff necks that are made in China for not too much money. But just be careful. Sometimes those things could be warped, or you know they don't make the wood dry long enough, and they're not as careful with the quality control. So they usually, anything under $150 usually needs at least a level, fret level, fret buffing, polishing, ends. In my experience, anyways. Hey Jack, nice to see you, buddy. We're all having a happy Sunday. I hope you're having a happy Sunday too. Does anyone feel that the modern weight relief in a Gibson Les Paul changes the tone much? I don't think so. This guitar is weight relieved. It's not like super light, so whatever weight relieving that they're doing is not like extreme. I don't think it affects the tone much, honestly. For me, I rather have a light guitar than a guitar that weighs like a boat anchor around my neck when I'm playing. Billy Gibbons, believe it or not, weight relieves everything. His guitars are like super, super light. The bodies are weight relieved. He even weight relieves the neck, from what I understood. And I don't know how they do that exactly, but they do. And he's got massive tone, you know. He's like, he's the poster boy for everything that should not sound good. Because he uses light gauge strings. Everybody, you know, always thought that heavy gauge strings gives you better tone. He uses sevens. His guitars are like drastically weight relieved, and he seems to be getting a massive tone. So where's that tone coming from? I'm not really sure, but I don't think I'd worry about it that much. Charles says, no, Jeff says the used Les Pauls are the same price new ones were 2 years ago, if not more. Like I always say, you got to just be patient. Have the money ready. Just wait, watch. There's always a deal that comes around, and when it's there, just jump on it, man. Fat Philosopher says, I think the classic replaced the traditionals, which makes me wonder how long the classics will last. Resale value is better if your whole line doesn't disappear. Normally, well, it could go two ways. I mean, yeah, it could keep the value up if the line still exists. But on the other hand, if they're good guitars and they're hard to get, they can actually go up in value because people are after them, you know, on the used market. Everything's shifted. Fender and Gibson they do this all the time I think to confuse the buyers. You know, Fender does this all the time. Mark's right. The old traditionals are like the new standards. The old standards are like the new classics. all the push-pull pots, weight relief, etc. You know, they're kind of shifting the whole line kind of thing. The Nye wants to know, Tony, any experience with monoprice stage right 15 watt amps? Actually, the Nye, I just did a video on that not long ago. Was that last week? I think I published it. Where I did a playthrough and I did a full review on that. So if you didn't see it, just go back and take a look. Yeah, I mean, the amp is great for you know, an intro amp, like somebody who wants to have a tube amplifier at a low price point. You're generally looking at something like Peavey, the classic series, Fender, maybe like a Blues Junior. You know, if you want to keep the price down and you want to get into a tube amplifier, there are other options. I mean, you can get, generally you can get something like a Fender Blues Deluxe or something like that. I've seen them, you know, $500, $600, you know, around that price. The mono price stage right, if you buy it off Amazon, is pushing, here in Canada, is pushing about $400. So it's not like, you know, it's not a $200 amp. So when you get to the $400 price point, let's say, I probably wouldn't buy the guitar new. I'd probably buy it used. And, you know, the one I showed in the video, I bought that one. It wasn't given to me by anyone. I bought that because I wanted to review it. And, you know, I got it obviously less than 400. I didn't buy it brand new, but it was essentially new. And it's a good amplifier, I gotta say. But one thing to keep in mind is that, you know, you can get yourself decent amps these days used. So something like a Hot Rod Deluxe or something like that, the older models, you can still get those. You know, sometimes, well, it depends how lucky you are. But I've seen some people that are a little bit more desperate in terms of, you know, selling their stuff, and the prices are getting not to the point of the mono price, but, you know, maybe that you throw in an extra couple $100, you get that, you know, and it's going to be an amplifier that could get you a lot further. But the mono price amp, for what it is better than I expected, honestly. It has a decent sound, has a decent reverb. The great thing about that amplifier is that it's a good platform if you want to upgrade it. The thing is, if you're going to upgrade it and you're going to change the speaker, you're going to change the reverb tank, you know, the difference in price that you're going to be spending to do that, you might as well just buy a different amplifier that is already set up the way you want it and get it used, you know. So it's give and take. But a lot of people love those amps. I liked it. I think you can judge by the video. The sound is pretty good. I tried to get, I tried to see how it sounds with more of a drive sound through it, and I wasn't playing through any pedals. It was going straight into the amplifier, and yeah, the sound was decent in my opinion. Check it out. Let me know what you think. One other thing I wanted to say, well, here, let me answer Dan's question first. Any suggestions for a wireless system? I have a Line 6 G10S, but the receiver will not fit into my Ibanez Jiva 10 as it's carved into the body. Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yes. A lot of, yeah, those wireless systems tend to do that. I understand what you're saying. So it's probably similar to what I have here. So let me use this as an example. This is a NUX wireless system, but I think they're all pretty similar. So I think I understand what you're saying. So if we look at this one, so the wireless receiver, so you have this bit here, this part that normally goes into the guitar. But when you have an Ibanez guitar, either the, you know, the Sabres or one of the other models where the input is actually, or the output is actually deeper into the body, this could sometimes not go all the way in. I've had that problem myself. And then, so what I normally do is I get a little adapter. You can buy these little adapters. It's a female adapter that would go into here with a small short cable. And then you can just take that, plug it into your guitar. And what I do is I take a little, I MacGyvered a little, you know those old flip top cell phone holders that you would put on your belt, the small ones? Well, they're a little bit bigger than this, not much. I got one of those, put this in, and I just secured it in there, and then I put the wire, and I attached that little pocket into on the back of my my strap, and it works really well. That's one of the solutions that I figured out for myself. By the way, these NUX wireless systems are really good. They're the B5RC. The only issue with these things that I've seen over and over again is that the plastic case ends up breaking. When you bend this thing over and over again, the little case comes apart at the joints here. I had to like glue them back, and I'm a little disappointed that they break that easy, because now I can't use them anymore. So just keep that in mind when you're buying these ones. They're not cheap, and they're a little bit on the fragile side, I have to say, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll modify that eventually. Today's take says, yes, I have a Monoprice 15 OK amp, but not the best sounding tube amp. Takes pedals okay and has an effects loop. Same tube layout and sounds like my Blues Junior. In my experience, it doesn't sound exactly like a Blues Junior. I find the Blues Junior definitely has more high end and more clarity, and doesn't break up as aggressively as the Monoprice. Like, you gotta crank the Blues Junior quite a bit before it starts breaking up, but it's more of a clean drive, if that makes sense. There's a lot more punch and a lot more headroom, whereas the Monoprice, you can get to break up lower volumes, but it's not as clear. Surfer B says, I've been checking out those Brunetti amps on YouTube. Great demos on them. Yeah. If you check out Sam Vilo, I believe that's his name, Sam Vilo, the guy's a monster on guitar. He's always doing these beautiful demos. He never talks, he just plays. He gets an amazing sound, and he's one of the guys that I've seen doing the most Brunetti Pleximan demos on YouTube. Believe it or not, I never actually did a playthrough on my Brunetti amplifier, and I got to do that one. It's on my list. It's a great amplifier, by the way, if anybody's interested. Paul says, Kramer just released the 2010 Pacer for $379 USD, alder body, maple neck, Korean Floyd special Alnico 5 pickups. Yeah, and I think there's a new colors in there as well. It's a pretty good deal for $379. I gotta check some of those out. I don't know if I'm gonna buy another Kramer. I have two, but the ones I bought are basically for modding anyways. So, but at $379, that's not a bad deal if you can grab one used, especially. Jeff says, I got a Gordon Smith Telecaster SH coming. The G string on the bridge pickup is noticeably louder than the D, especially playing clean, flat pull piece pickup. Any ideas to level strings out a little? So the G string is on the bridge pickup. Interesting. Noticeably louder, eh? What you can do, flat pull pieces. What you can do, Jeff, you can take the pickup out. You can heat up the pickup with a heat gun or a blow dryer, and you could push down the pole for the G string. Just push it in. Generally, the poles are like put in. They're not like glued in usually. They're just like held in by wax. And if you heat them up, you can gently push them in. You can take the tip of a, I don't know, a pen or a pencil or just anything, really. Just push it in and get it down a little bit, and you can actually adjust the sound and get them balanced out. Does that help you? I hope that helps you. Frank wants to know if I've tried a Firefly, or an IYV? No, I haven't. IV or IYV? I haven't tried. I've seen a lot of people trying the Fireflies on, getting them off Amazon and trying them. I didn't. I haven't tried one yet, so I can't really talk about those. No experience on that, guy. Sorry. House of Twang, good morning. Nice to see you, buddy. Today's take says Hot Rod Deluxe is my favorite amp. Our lead guitarist uses a DeVille. Excellent together. Very loud amps, though. Yeah, they're both very loud amps, for sure. I like the DeVille a lot. I'm a fan of the DeVille. I find it sounds really nice. Big amps, though. They're the DeVille specifically a little bit heavy. Yeah, Jeff, you can give it a try. It's not that complicated, man. It's just take your time. The most important thing is don't overdo the heat. When you see the wax melting, give it a shot. And it's probably gonna give you a little bit of resistance, but you can usually push it in without too many problems. I've done it before. You can do it. You can do these on any type of Fender pickup that has staggered pull pieces. A lot of people don't know that, but you can. Talking about Billy Gibbons just earlier during the session here, I was wondering if you guys saw some of the recent ZZ Top concerts, the ones that are, after the bass player in ZZ Top died, he was replaced by the guitar tech. And I used to watch a lot of videos where the guitar tech, Billy Gibbons' guitar tech, was talking about his gear and his amps and all that kind of stuff, and I really liked them. I really liked listening to those like rig rundown type things. Very knowledgeable fellow, and he was actually recruited to play in ZZ Top now. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I've seen some videos of him playing with ZZ Top, and I don't know, he has a weird look to him now. Like, he used to be pretty clean cut. His name is Elwood Francis, I think. And he used to be pretty clean cut, short hair, glasses. And now I guess to fit the part, he's grown out his hair and he's grown out a beard. But it almost looks like he's wearing a wig and a fake beard. But he's not. People have confirmed that it's really his beard and really his hair. But it's just the way, the look of it makes him look weird. I don't know if that's a good thing. But he's playing the bass and he's playing with ZZ Top, and he's been a guitar tech that's been in the business for over 3 decades, this guy. Like, he knows his stuff. I think he was working with Billy Gibbons, Black Crowes, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, a bunch of bands over the years. And then ended up working with the ZZ Top. And ended up landing the spot of a bass player, so you never know what's going to happen, So he's the guitar tech. I'm sure he plays guitar. And I guess he figured, if I can play guitar, I could probably do the bass parts as well. The ZZ Top bass parts are not very challenging, but it's not the same vibe, I gotta say. We can see that Billy Gibbons was really doing the heavy lifting as, the part of the trio, right? He's got the chops. I was, just out of curiosity, I was playing around with tunings because, when you play Just Got Paid, usually when you're in E, when you're playing something like, when you're playing that, you have to kind of, you have to jump down to the G. And Billy doesn't do that. So I'm like, he's got to definitely be in a different tuning. So I looked it up. Obviously, he's in open E tuning, which at that point makes it a lot easier because you're not jumping around like that. And I never really realized that he was using the open E tuning. And open E is basically you're tuning E you're tuning the next string to B instead of A. So it's E, B, E, then G sharp, B, E. And he's doing that because he plays most of the other parts with a slide. And I really suck at slide. And it never really sounds good when you try and do it with E string, an E tuning, regular tuning, standard. I don't know how to do slide much. But I gotta practice if I want to play that song. I've been trying to learn it. I'd like to play that eventually and do all the slide parts. But I'm not accustomed to doing the slide and playing the lead, because you gotta do it. You gotta put the slide on your pinky so that you can do the other part. And when you do that, it's very. And then you do. I'm not accustomed to that at all. Unless you put it on the middle finger. I don't know if he puts it on the middle finger or if he puts it on the pinky finger. But anyways, I gotta learn how to play slide. I think it's the coolest thing ever. Just that I suck at it. Most of the slide guitarists use alternate tuning, so it's one of those things. BC Rich 581 says, so I've tried the Brantley Jazz pickups, but since I've not heard a lot of complaints on the Lee USA pickups, I'd be hesitant to replace them. They're supposed to be pretty good pickups. I can't. Again, I don't know much about the jazz pickups. I'm not a jazz player, so those are not typically what I gravitate towards. I don't know if anybody else has some advice for BC Rich 581 on those pickups. Fat Philosopher says ZZ Top should retire now. Seems too much like just a cash grab to continue. Let the tribute bands take over. I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel that too. I feel bad because I really like Billy Gibbons, but yeah, they've been doing it for so long. They've been making a lot of money on 3-chord songs for the longest time ever. I mean, Billy Gibbons, was around with Jimi Hendrix. I think he jammed with Jimi Hendrix at one point. So, he's getting up there for sure. So either, he can start doing like Santana's doing and, put out some music with other artists so that they can, make a sort of a mishmash of, ZZ Top with something a little bit more modern. I mean, it helps Santana a lot. That's an option. That might be interesting. Vox Guitars Rock says, could you change the G string out with a lighter gauge? Would that affect the volume at all? It may, but I don't think it would affect it all that much. I think you're better off playing with the actual pulls. BC Rich 581 says that his Nandy Duet wireless fits any guitar or bass with a 1/4-inch jack. I've got one that's somewhat Strat-centric, but most are universal. Yeah, I gotta get another one. I gotta get something else that is gonna be a little bit more durable. I like the wireless packs. I think they're a lot. It's a lot more. You have some freedom when you're walking around. So you're not tripping over wires and stuff like that all the time. So Paul did some quick research and says that Long and McQuaid actually has a Pacer in stock for $500 Canadian. Not a bad deal. I'll have to look at it. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm not super enticed by another Kramer, but you never know. It's happened before. A Fat Philosopher says the problem with these old 70s bands is that they lose all their money by snorting it up their noses or management crooks, so they're still playing live and hawking merchandise in their late 70s. It is true. It's happened to many bands over and over again, unfortunately. But I think Billy Gibbons is a smart man. I don't know, how much actually went up his nose in his particular case. But yeah, we know how it is. It's rock and roll, right? We know how what usually ends up happening. It's not just rock. I mean, look at guys like MC Hammer and all these old guys that were like popular, LL Cool J and all these other names that ended up going bankrupt, and now they're, working as real estate agents or something, Ice-T. I remember Ice-T. Oh my God. Once a band member passes away, it's usually over. With the exception of AC/DC, most don't do well with replacements. Yeah, it's hard. It really is. I mean, it depends how important the band member was, I mean, you look at the Stones, okay, the drummer passed away, the bass player left, they're still doing it. Honestly, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Ron Wood, they're really the front men of the band. The rest of the band was kind of there as a foundation. Could they be replaced? I would say yeah. I mean, we all know Bill Wyman wasn't really too charismatic. He was basically standing there most of the time, looking bored and playing bass. And Charlie Watts, was he the best drummer? Not really. I mean, he held the beat all right, but I don't know. To me, Charlie was never like more than a metronome. Sorry to say if there's any Charlie Watts fans, but I mean, I like him as a character, but I don't think I think he can be replaced by anyone. Leo, that's funny. Leo remembers all of the ZZ Top videos from the 80s when he was a kid. I was like, okay, so there are 3 rabbis who drive around in hot rods with hot chicks. Anyway, that's funny, man. Yeah, they kind of did. They kind of did look like 3 rabbis. I think that would be pretty cool. Somebody should come up with a band like that. That's funny. Hey, come on, we got to give them credit. I mean, there's not a lot of people that can rock fur guitars, and make it look cool. Rexomatic says, wondering if you've have tried any of the AIO SH335 compared to the Harley Benton's Firefly, Sire, similar style guitars. I have tried an AIO guitar, but it was one of their Telecaster models, which was well built, solid built guitar. I did not try the 335s. I was trying to get my hands on one, but I haven't managed to get one yet to review. I do have a Harley Benton. It's right there, right by the pooch. That's one of the Harley Benton's 335s that I've tried. Solid guitar too. I'm thinking, as far as the Harley Benton goes, it's a pretty solid guitar. You would probably need to tweak the setup a little bit. Pickups, they're usually the standard pickups that come on all of the Harley Bentons, the Roswell pickups. So if you're a fan of those, if you like those, you'll like these. If you don't, easy things, well, not so easy on a 335, but you can swap them out for something a little bit better. It's a good workhorse guitar. I have no complaints on that guitar. I think it's really well made. I do have a real 335. Do they feel the same? Not really the same. I mean, they're in the ballpark, but the neck is different, definitely, and just a different flavor of that type of guitar. If you're looking at a 335, one of the ones I could suggest is if you go look at the Vintage brand of guitars. They have some really nice 335s there as well, and they're really good quality in my opinion. I still have mine. I like it a lot. And of course, there's the Tokais. If you want to get something like very good quality, go with the Tokais if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a Gibson. But I could recommend the Harley Benton without any issues, no problem. Don't hesitate. I think they're well made. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that, Leo. The neck warping on the Mexican Geddy Lees. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why that's happening on that model particularly. It's a shame because a lot of Geddy Lee fans out there. As a matter of fact, you just brought up something I wanted to share with you guys. I geek out on these videos on YouTube where they're talking to rock stars in their early days and whatnot. And I don't know why or how this came about, but there's a lot of videos out there on Alex Lifeson when he was younger. Like he looks like he's probably, I don't know, maybe 20. I'm going to say maybe even a little younger than that. I'm not really sure. And anyways, there's one particular one that I caught on YouTube where they're sitting around the table and Alex Lifeson's trying to convince his parents that he wants to drop out of grade 12 to play music. And his parents, his dad and his mom are around the table. And, oh my God, sorry. Excuse me, that one sneaked up on me there. Oh my Lord. Apologies. Didn't mean to blow up on camera like that. Anyways, so this video was out on YouTube and I was watching it and I thought it was, how cool is this? I don't know why they were recording it at the time, but you see Alex Lifeson talking to his dad and his mom and telling them, I want to drop out of grade 12 and I want to play music. And obviously he's referring to, Rush and rock and all this kind of stuff. And his parents are trying to talk him out of it. His dad's, telling him like, we want you to finish school and all of that. And anyways, the funny thing is, really funny in my opinion, well, not to be mean to anyone at all, but, Alex Lifeson when he was younger, looked like this, right? That's a shot of Alex Lifeson from that video that I'm talking about. Now, doesn't he look a lot like Robert Baker? If you guys know Robert Baker, he's a YouTuber. He puts together really good YouTube videos. I'm a big fan of his stuff as well. But he looks a lot like Robert Baker, doesn't he? I don't know. Here, I'm going to try and pull up a picture of Robert. And you could tell me what you think, if you think he looks like him or not. Let me just, I don't know if I have one here. There we go. There's Robert. What do you guys think? I don't know if it's just the hair, but I mean, even the facial, the whiskers, it's not the same angle, but I think it looks pretty close. What do you think? Anyways, I love Robert. Robert's a good guy. He seems like a really good guy. I'm not making fun of anybody. It's just, I just brought it up. It dawned on me when I was looking at the pictures. I'm like, man, he looks like Robert Baker. It's like, wow. Anyways, all good. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. He's a good player. I watch his videos all the time. One of the things also I wanted to talk about very quickly, it's already an hour that we're yapping, but have you guys seen the Bucket Brigade, the new Bucket Brigade pedal from TC Electronic? It's analog delay, $69. I'm wondering if it's going to be a hot seller or not. It's something that that always intrigues me when I look at these things. 69 bucks is pretty affordable. It's their budget line, so I don't know. But I'm curious. I probably will end up trying to get one for a review or purchase one or whatever. I always like good quality delays, and this one seems like it could be pretty cool. Let me know if you guys have tried one. I don't even think they're out yet, but they're already starting to talk about them. They sound good. And any of you guys know where the term Bucket Brigade came out? What it actually means? I don't know if you guys know what that means or not. A lot of people use that term, and I always said to myself, what the hell does Bucket Brigade mean? I really wasn't really sure, but apparently Bucket Brigade is the firefighting technique of passing water from one person to the other and dumping it on the fire. That's where the term Bucket Brigade came from. And it's basically, they use that term because it has to do with the actual electronic circuit, the way it actually works, and they're passing the information from chip to chip. I mean, I'm not an electrical engineer or anything like that, so I'm not going to attempt to actually describe how it works. But basically, it comes from the idea of a tape delay. The tape delay used heads to repeat the signal, and they figured out how to do that with chips instead of with physical tape. And because it's passing the signal from one chip to another over and over again, it does lose along the way, and that's why typically bucket brigade circuits are a little bit darker, and when they repeat over and over again, the repeat is not pristine like a digital delay is. So it's pretty cool that they're coming out with that, and I'm curious to see how well it's going to work. I think it's going to be a pretty nice addition to their budget line. They're coming out with some really nice stuff, I gotta say. One of the other things I wanted to talk about, if you guys, you guys probably know, I've mentioned it in the last live show that Alexander Dumble passed away recently, right? So I mentioned in that show, in that live session, that his amps would surely go through the roof, right? And there's only so many still in existence. Whoever out there is lucky enough to have one, they're probably in line for a big payday if they want to get rid of one. Well, lo and behold, I came across a listing on Reverb for one that is for sale right now, and this is on Reverb, so you can actually find it on Reverb. It's a 1995 Dumble Overdrive Special, and it's basically on Reverb. I think it's probably hit Reverb's most watched gear list because it's pretty popular, trending even, I think. And it's listed by Play It Again Music. So if you're interested in grabbing a Dumble, and it's not that old, 1995, not that bad. It's an overdrive special, and they say it's entirely original. It has about 20 hours of playtime, so it's practically brand new. And basically, now that Alexander's passed away, they're just a mere $175,000. It's a bargain, guys. So any of you guys looking for a new amp, maybe the Princeton's not doing it for you anymore, you can grab a beautiful Dumble for 175 grand. Maybe it's an investment, who knows? Maybe at the end of the day, 175 grand today will get to 250 in a few years down the line. You know how these things get crazy after a while. Everything becomes like mojo, and look at the Klons, right? Look at the Klon pedals. It's like, so who knows? Maybe it's a steal at $175,000, and 10 years down the line, maybe that price will double. Not really sure, but I just wanted to put out there in case you guys are amp shopping. Don't make a hasty decision and go for something like a Katana when you can pick up a Dumble. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. Jeff says, I got the rarest Boss pedal of all, Tony. One that's been broken down. It's a 3-year-old DM2W, but I can report that Boss are true to their word with a 5-year warranty. I'm getting a replacement. Nice. I don't think I've ever come across a broken Boss pedal. Yeah, the knobs fall off. Yeah, the little screw thing in the back gets lost. Sometimes something like that happens. But a broken one, I don't think I've ever come across a dead Boss pedal. I think it rarely happens. Those things are built really, really, really durably. And if you have one, you can do the test. Just throw one at your bass player. You're going to see it. It really, nothing happens. It's amazing how well they're built. But basically, I can attest that the Boss stuff is really roadworthy. That's why a lot of artists actually use these Boss pedals even today, because they know that they're gonna withstand wear and tear, and if they need to replace one, they just go to the local store and buy one. It's not something that you gotta search high and low for, They are tanks, absolutely. Yeah, I like them. I like them a lot. And unfortunately, I kind of now feel like, you know, I've almost like graduated beyond the Boss pedals, which is a shame because they have some really great sounding Boss pedals out there. And I used to have a whole bunch, and now I have none. So I don't know what that means. I hope I'm not becoming a cork sniffer. I don't think I am because I still have some very inexpensive pedals on my board, including Joyo and some other brands that are not very expensive. So I don't think I'm a cork sniffer, but I could be getting there. Maybe not a cork sniffer, but definitely picky. That's how I like to refer to myself. One last thing I want to talk about, guys, before I go, in terms of amps. There's one amp that I've been really lusting after. Don't think I'm ever going to be able to buy one. They're still pretty expensive. But if you guys haven't checked it out yet, please do. There's a beautiful amplifier made by Matchless called the Laurel Canyon. And I just saw some demos on that amplifier, and it really sounds really, really good. I never owned a Matchless, but they have an amazing sound, and it's very flexible in terms of what you can do with it, from really nice cleans, beautiful crunch, just a full, really nice sound. And that one caught my attention. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but check it out. There's some cool videos made by Matchless, I think, made by the company, and it's called the Laurel Canyon Combo Amp. Beautiful. That's definitely on my wish list. Anyways, guys, I think we're going to have to wrap it up. We've been talking for an hour and almost 20 minutes, and I hope you guys enjoyed this live show this Sunday. As I said at the beginning of the live show, please remember to subscribe, like, and comment the video so that you get a chance to win this NUX multi-effects unit, the MG300, which we're going to be drawing. The draw's probably gonna happen next Sunday, so you definitely want to tune in if you're in the draw specifically. Tune in. If you're not in the draw, tune in anyways to that video. Subscribe, like, comment, and you'll be in the draw. And you have a very good chance of winning that unit. So hopefully it goes out to somebody that's out here on a regular basis, a familiar name, but it will be a random draw. All right, so don't forget, do it right now. Don't delay. Don't say I didn't tell you. I warned you at the beginning and now. So I really want one of you guys to win. Of course, there's other people that are going to be subscribed, but yeah, you do have a good chance of winning. So I hope, keep your fingers crossed that one of you guys will walk away with that really cool unit. And just to mention, it will be sent to you with the patches that I've edited in it. So you can hit the ground running with that. And I will also send you a little personalized thank you message written and signed by me as a little memento, all right? So I hope that that sweetens the pot a little bit, hopefully. All right, guys, that's it. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, keep rocking, keep playing around with gear. If you have comments about any of my videos that I put up there, leave your comments, ask your questions. I always respond. If you can even reach out to me directly by email, and I will take the time to answer my email. It might take a little bit more time because I can't answer everything, but I eventually get around to it. So don't despair. If you sent me a message and you haven't gotten a response yet, I will get to it. And that's it, guys. So keep rocking, play your guitars, set aside some time in your day to practice, and stay tuned for other videos that I'm going to be posting this week on Addicted to Gear. See you soon, guys.